the thing is that in the minutes, it's just a generalization. You don't get everything in the discussion itself. When you say discussion, here you hear the but you don't get to read the minutes from this meeting until after they're approved the next meeting. And then they get posted, so you're always 2 months behind. You can have the minutes for it, but they won't post them until they're approved. And they don't get approved until the next meeting. So if that's a month later, then you don't get to see them until then. Yeah, that's not how it's done. You know, most of the time, all they do is sit here and go, you know, gather, open the meeting, call, you know, roll call, and all the shit. That's all they normally do. You know, but when they start making decisions about getting rid of things, that's the problem. Yeah.
It is.
Oh, they're coming from Chicago now, man.
Yep.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order, and we'll start out with the pledge.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming, and we'll go ahead with the roll call. Tony?
Present.
Ellen? Present. Mike?
Present.
Chief? Acting Chief?
Present.
Thank you. Attorney Schobert, myself, Jeff, and Kelly? Here. Larry? Here. Josh? Here. And Tracy? Oh, yeah. We're going to jump ahead just a little bit, and then we're going to come back to public comments. We're going to jump down to number 6, discussion, consideration, possible action, direct village attorney to prepare an ordinance repealing the ordinance by which the village police and fire commission was created in section 303 of the village code. Okay, Mike, your opinion on that?
Well, we were asked to prepare an ordinance, which we have. It's sitting here. In the meantime, I think I've heard that there might not be a strong interest in proceeding, so that's as much as I know. We did what we were requested to do in preparing the ordinance.
Okay. Anyone have an interest in proceeding with that? Otherwise, we'll jump forward to number 7, new business discussion, consideration, possible approval of police and fire commission. And I guess I'll just say I would like to make a motion to not have that ordinance repealed. And so I will ask if you would like to take a vote on that or just have no action on either one.
Now, if that's the thought here, maybe the motion should be to take no action and to remove it from the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so there's no action. On number 7A or 6A. Okay, we will move on to public comments. Public comments, you have 2 minutes to express yourself. Please sign in if you're going to comment. We need to have your name, your address. Keep it to 2 minutes, any time, and at that point we will ask you to stop. I will say that anybody out of order will be asked to leave. And so we will not be interrupted like maybe we have in the past. Yeah, it should be good. Yes.
If anybody else is interested in speaking, please.
Tom
send
Ring?
You know what's amazing? Goodman, how you can sit there and flip-flop and change your tune anytime you want. You want to get rid of the police and fire department, now you want to keep the fire department, according to your interview you had this morning. If you really want to save the village money, get rid of the DPW. It's real simple. Subcontract the DPW instead of subcontracting the police department and the fire department. Save the village $400,000 and we don't have to be aggravated and irritated by a man who does not do his job because he is the laziest DPW in the state of Wisconsin. He says he's salted, prove it. Show me the video, you taking the trucks out, loading the trucks up and salting it, Eric.
Tom, we got time cards.
Yeah,
We got video down there if you want to see it.
yeah, I'd love to see it because I don't believe you. I believe you as far as I can move this building right now.
Okay, that's not a discussion, right?
This is completely ridiculous, the way you guys have bullied your way through the village and made the good police department retire and resign and do things that are unmentionable. You may not have been the one that pulled the trigger, but you, Ellen, you made a comment last time. Let's do a background check on Jamie Sonnenberg. How about you do a background check on Eric? Ever do that? He never had one. When he was hired, he never had a background check. Do a background check on him and find out the skeletons in his closet. You guys are just atrocious the way you sit here and pretend you're doing good for the village when you're actually doing harm. You get rid of the police and fire department, everybody's home insurance is gonna double because now we're covered by somebody else. The property taxes will go up, but that doesn't matter to you because you're all playing with monopoly money. Not a single one of you care about it. You pretend you do, but you don't. It's just atrocious. And since we had him decide to stick his hand in his pocket into our old village secretary, we can't even have our office open a full 40 hours a week here
Okay, thank
because
you.
it's closed.
Thank you, Tom. That's it.
Oh,
Next.
pick on poor Eric and everybody's gotta go bye-bye.
Dan Manning?
I was not going to comment tonight, but I have to tell you, we had a big, large project a couple of years back to go, and I had to work with Eric Peterson. I want to stand up for Eric and say I think he does a good job. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Dan.
Stacy Peterson?
Not present.
Derek Wagner?
I'm not sure if this is what the village board was looking for, but we're pretty much famous now. We are on AOL.com. We're on the News UK, so worldwide. Congratulations on what you've done for this village to make us famous in the worst possible way. You know, when five of your deputies quit in one day, that says a lot about the leadership. When 5 people on a team quit in one day, it's not the team that's the problem, it's leadership. And you all need to step back and take a very hard look on how you're leading this village because that's ridiculous. I can't even imagine having half the force quit in one day and being responsible for something like that. As a resident, I find it troublesome that the president of this board provides quotes to news agencies and makes statements like many of them worked part-time and didn't reside in the village. Wasn't aware there was a residency requirement for our law enforcement, but if there were to be one, we'd probably have an even bigger problem. We're lucky to have so many dedicated members of law enforcement who choose to serve our village until recently. I also didn't realize that part-time workers, because they're part-time, their opinion or anything else mattered less. Another quote that Mr. Goodman made to the news, many of the officers didn't live here but sure are causing a ruckus. Again, you paint civil servants in this community in a poor light because of your actions and the actions of the majority of this board that created such a toxic work environment that I can't imagine many folks wanting to come work for us at this point at all. Last month, you and the others were seemingly gung-ho to get rid of the Police and Fire Commission. That suddenly has changed now. There was a meeting, there was a vote to dissolve it, people left, and now all of a sudden, looking from the outside in, it seems as though there might be some backwards agenda going on with that. Another quote that you made when referring to an officer, you state to the reporter, you know who they're talking about, and they don't even live here, so I don't know why he's so interested in this. He should be more concerned with wherever it is that he lives. Perhaps it's that they were concerning themselves because it's their job. And unlike others, they feel the need to protect the community they serve, which is a lot more concern than we as citizens have seen from a lot of you. And finally,
Okay, Derek, thank you.
you know what, I don't like being told I'm squawking either. The pejorative way in which you discuss that is disgusting.
Okay.
Don Gaglione.
Good evening, my name is Donald Gallioni Jr., and I am the son of Don Gallioni, who most of you know as the Chief Gallioni. I want to start by thanking the men and women of the Big Bend Police Department, the Big Bend Fire Department, as well as the other first responder agencies that have been extremely supportive of our family during the loss of my father. I also want to recognize and thank the citizens and businesses of Big Bend for their support of my dad, both during his tenure as the chief and of our family in his passing, as you and the community are the reason that I want to speak here today. The reason I want to address the citizens of Big Bend today is not only to encourage, but instill a sense of urgency of this community as to the importance of the public offices, specifically on this board, that control the decisions made on your behalf. I have attended a few of these meetings now, and I'm amazed at the number of citizens and business owners that have attended and discussed the closing of the Big Bend Police Department, and not just the attendance, but the overwhelming support, request, and demand to maintain a police department within the village that demonstrates the highest ethical and professional standards, which is the police department that this village has come to experience and love, and that the citizens of Big Bend deserve. I want to encourage the citizens to pay close attention to the meetings that occur regarding your community, and in recent events, special attention to the meetings that surround your public safety. I also want to mention my observations in the October meeting, in which many citizens stood where I stand today and voiced their opinion as to the necessity of a Big Bend Police Department. I also noticed that this board had established a dollar amount that they associated to you and your family's safety, along with the level of unwillingness to hear the input of the very families who require or request these services. I also sat here and heard my father speak, followed by person after person from this community, and the overwhelming majority of the comments were in support of the police department by whatever means necessary, at which time this board decided to rescind their prior vote. I ask the citizens and members of this community to scrutinize this board and its actions and consider running for a position within the village board if you value your community. The majority of this board has failed to show that they value you, your opinion, your trust, and your safety as a community. Instead, members of this board have demonstrated a desire to satisfy their own needs, and in doing so, they have chosen to drive away many of your public safety members and shown contempt for the very people that they claim to serve. This village had a police department
Thank
that...
you, sir.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, come on.
No. Well, let him, before you.
Angie A.
Johnny, take my 2 minutes, please.
No, it's all right. I got it.
Okay. Are you sure?
Angie
Jen,
A.
are you sure?
Okay.
Where did we come up with the 2-minute rule all of a sudden? Started today. And we never had that before. Well, we never enforced it, now all of a sudden we're gonna enforce it.
I've been a police officer's wife for 10 years, 7 of them being here in Big Bend. You started all this with your September vote, late night in closed session. You stonewalled the department until Vernon shot down your contract, and then you told the department you were going to keep them, which really meant our deal fell through and all we have left is you. Following the exit of some incredible officers, including ones who found and arrested the Waukesha Christmas parade murderer, I hope you stop using personal agendas for decision-making on this board and just do what's best for your village. Sergeant Aide has been here since 2017, and Chief Gallioni's right hand since 2019. Instead of taking his suggestion for his interim successor, as he wanted to do what was best, you kept your personal issues front and center. Mr. Goodman, you made untrue details to the media, which were proven false, by giving extremely inaccurate budget figures, conveniently leaving off police revenues. You were also quoted saying you didn't even know why they're talking about it regarding the citizens' concerns after half of your officers resigned. You were quoted in the Freeman saying many officers don't live here but are sure causing a ruckus. Not one lives here, and the one who did quit. This board has created an extremely hostile and toxic work environment. And after the devastating loss of Chief Gallione, Sergeant 8 closed the department so they could step away and Waukesha County took over. He found out his full-time officer wouldn't be paid for this time away. And without a word to anyone, Jamie gave this officer his own vacation to be paid to his full-timer so he wouldn't lose money. And this board did nothing to honor a man who put everyone above himself. I'll finish up with a quote today that I found. An environment that is not safe to disagree in is not an environment focused on growth, it's an environment focused on control.
Thank you.
Bob Mayer.
Say that again.
Bob Mayer?
Bob Mayer,
Might be in the back.
might be in the fire hall.
Maybe Don should continue while we wait.
Joe
Joe who?
Anzelka.
Hello. I have a list of things, but it was incredibly rude to stop Mr. Gallione Jr., so continue.
Thank you.
This village had a police department comprised of some extremely well-experienced law enforcement officers. Given the budget constraints that the village operates within, the return on investment was simply astonishing for the citizens of Big Bend. In part as a result of the action of this board, the level of experience within the department has been compromised, and including my father's death, this department has lost over 150 years of combined law enforcement experience. To rebuild the department of this caliber, this village board faces a monumental challenge. In looking at such a large departure from this department, I think it's important that we ask what has changed in this department over the last 4 months, and we begin to assess what has changed. I don't believe that the source of this change is external or from any members of this community, but internally driven from the politics, decisions, actions, and inactions that have stemmed from within this board. I know from conversations with my dad how important he felt it was for the village to maintain a police department for the citizens of this community, and since my father's passing, I have been unable to locate any postings in an attempt to hire police personnel, including police officers, sergeant, or chief positions for the village of Big Bend. And I checked that as recently as before this meeting. I thank you for your time and consideration, and I wish love and peace to all first responders and the communities affected during this difficult time. God bless.
Was that the 2 minutes?
24 seconds.
Well, I can probably get it out there. Hi, guys, I'm Joe. I used to work here. I want to comment about the meeting room size. We easily could have had this at a school, but now, once again, people are forced to be in other conditions. You need to pay coppers appropriate if you want to get them working here. Nobody here was looking for savings in September when you voted to get rid of the police department, even though you constantly say in the media that you're looking for savings. And other people address the you don't live here. Well, I drove an hour plus every day to get to work, and you're saying that I cared less somehow about my job and my policing because I lived an hour away? I gave a lot to this community,
Thank you,
and it
Joe.
certainly wasn't for the pay. I could go to Menards and make more money. And I'm really not trying to point out anybody here individually. I know you guys are trying to save money, but good Lord, clean your house.
Thank you, Joe.
Dan Lane.
Thank you. I'm going to address one issue only. Excuse me. I don't live in the village of Big Bend. I'm a Village of Vernon resident, but I've been here for 28 years. And I've watched the ongoings for that time. When I saw the video footage of previous meetings, I watched certain citizens accuse this board of either contributing to or causing the demise of our former chief of police, Don Daglione. Now, I've known Don for as long as he's been in office. He's no stranger to me. And I want to say that unless we see some type of proof that the decisions this board made contributed to his demise, you all are innocent. You deserve no blame, but what you do deserve is an apology from those who cast those railing accusations against you with no basis. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to go back, and I think Tracy was,
Stacy?
or Stacy, I mean.
Was I on there?
Yeah, did you want to talk?
I'm good.
There was someone else that was
There's somebody else.
No, Mayor.
Yeah.
Oh, Mayor.
Is he here?
Bob Mayor?
We going Bob yet?
Okay.
No, I can fill it.
Go ahead.
Nate Schweitzer.
Hello, I'm Nate Schweitzer. I don't know, I had all this speech prepared, but nobody here listens anyway. I just want us to really just take a time out, and I want everyone to just look around at the state of this village right now. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. You guys caused the ruckus. I know you like to say that I don't live here and I caused the ruckus. I guess I did. I'm reacting to you. All of these people are reacting to your poor judgment. It's just been bad leadership from the get-go. It's been secrets and lies, and it's just impossible to work here. That's why we left. And it's getting impossible for everyone. I just really encourage you guys to hit the reset button. I know not everyone gets along, it's very clear. I'm leaving, this is my last meeting here, but I just really want all of you guys to just hit the reset, take it down a notch, and just concentrate on what this village needs. Not what you want or what you think. Listen to everybody, and please just try to move in the right direction. I put out a suggestion to the police department. Rely on your PFC, use those guys. In the November meeting, you asked for suggestions, you asked for help. Listen to the PFC, let them do the research. Let's come out of all this better. We can do better, this village can do better, the police department can be better. But it requires you guys to show some leadership and to actually do the right thing. I've never seen that yet, but I'm praying that you guys do that soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
No. Thank you.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to yield my time now to Joe Handelka.
Thank you, Jenna. Thanks, guys. So to finish off what I was saying, a couple things that were stated regarding the pay for officers. Prior to the chief's passing, we had people who were really here for the chief. Okay, nobody worked here for the paychecks. We came here for the community and for the chief. Absent that, a real good focal leader that's going to bring people in and that is going to coalesce the department. It's one of the poorest paid departments in the area, so we really needed to up that. We were saying that, again, that you were looking for things to savings. In the September meeting, we were voted out. It was just, the only reason that the department's still around is because procedural notice error, and then Mr. Monzel wasn't there, so we didn't have the for sure vote to get rid of us, and then Vernon voted it down. So with that all happening, then it's kind of we're the only game left in town. And then everybody that I work with, if you work at Kroger and Kroger says they're closing, you're going to start looking at Pick and Save and Meijer for a job, right? Because that's what you do. That's what everybody did. And then again, I kind of went through it earlier. Mr. Goodman, we've had a lot of discussions. This is not a personal attack, but some of your comments that you made about saying that just because you don't live in an area, you can't care about what happens there. I'm watching what happened in Japan. I don't live in Japan. I don't live in Israel, but I care about what happens there. I care about what happens in Florida. I care about what happens, not so much Illinois, sorry, Scott. But it's words like that. They're doing nothing to unify the community. They're doing nothing to unify the feelings here. Nobody needs divisiveness anymore. We've already lost a number of really, really good people that really cared about what they were doing, and they were doing it for chief. Hopefully, we can find another chief that's going to do that and get it back going. Thank you guys for the time, and thank you for the time that I was able to work.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
There may be somebody else over there. Is there?
Joseph Jackson. Did I say that right?
Joseph.
Yep.
After owning multiple homes in multiple communities in the general surrounding areas over the past 25 years, I moved to Big Bend with my children a few years ago. For multiple reasons, location, school district, small community feel, the peacefulness, and most importantly, the public safety. In my short time here, I have never witnessed any other local government I've dealt with, and I've always voted since I was in high school, or out of high school, act the way that it has here against the community, which it's supposed to serve, as well as endangering the safety of the entire village at the same time. What's more shameful is the sneaky and deceptive methods that the majority of the board has been doing this. It's an absolute embarrassment both locally and nationally to show our village in this light. However, I'm not embarrassed by our village, but rather the 5 people on the board that led us here. Thankfully for our village, 2 of those 5 people are wise enough to have quit. And we as a village hope the other 3 of you follow suit. I want to thank, again, Josh and Tracy for being the voice of reason for our village. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's everybody that's signed up. Anyone else like to give public comments? Anyone else?
Jeff, real briefly, I'd like to speak, if you don't mind adding my name.
Name and address, please.
I have it.
For those who don't know me, my name is Tom Zambruski. I live on Guthrie Lane here in Big Bend. I've been here about 5 years. I've served on the planning commission for this village alongside many of the other people who also serve on this commission. One of the things I will say quickly is Greg does do a good job, so we shouldn't be beating up on Greg. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm sorry, Aaron, I'm sorry, yes. I want to say the other thing too is the time that's spent as a trustee or serving on the commissions, it takes up a lot of your personal time. And I really value what the commission's done. I know it's not easy work. I know it's not always going to be the easiest answer. I know there's a lot of emotion going on here. But I don't think at the end of the day that the people here that take time out of their day and time away from their families have ill intentions. And like I said, I've served with a number of the people on this board, on the planning commission, and I know that they bring great value to the village in the decision and their expertise and what they bring. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other public comments? Okay, then we'll close that and move on to fire department report. Do we have a fire department person?
Is Mark here?
Mark here.
Close.
Hold on.
He's gonna come from the back.
Good evening. Happy New Year. Chief's report. 8 calls as far as EMS went, no fire calls. We didn't have, we had 2 mutual aid calls, which brought us to 10 for the month here. We had one of our EMTs pass their class this month, or last month here, and is now shadowing with our officers and will be soon signed off by the medical director. Pump testing was done in November. Engine 61, tender 61 passed their test. Engine 62 had to have a valve replaced, which then was retested and was completed. Our new power cot has been installed in ambulance 61. We are now been trained on proper use, and it should help us for as far as loading patients and not getting injured. The MDC and new computers have been installed in the ambulances. We are in the process of getting a program through Wapsie County Dispatch, and will be finished and completed later this month. Our life packs have also that come in now, and the units are being programmed over the next week, and we all will be trained on that too. All the grant monies from the ARPA fund and flex grants have been expended, and as end of the year, the fire department money left in our FAP fund, and we will again try to send out for grants. So, and respectable chief level.
Any questions for Mark? Okay, thank you. Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, the library report, Carla is in the back helping out with making sure that everything is on video back there so everybody can see. So it's in front of you, feel free to read it. It looks like the library is doing pretty well, so we thank her for that. So, okay, we will move forward to the police report. Scott?
Officer Berger?
No.
You might be there. I want to introduce Officer Berger. He stepped up to the plate when we were shorthanded, took on 7 additional shifts, and he's trying to help us out. He is a full-time officer at another agency and a part-time chief at another agency, so he brings a wealth of experience. And I want to make sure that the board was aware of what he's been doing. We had 1 theft, 2 OWI arrests, and 1 domestic violence arrest. We wrote 66 traffic citations, handled 7 traffic crashes, did 348 salvage inspections for the year. And on the subject of personnel, we are down. I have 5 officers left on the roster. We will be advertising for part-time officers, full-time officers, and a new chief. And I will forward those job descriptions to you and the Police and Fire Commission.
Okay. I know that you were going to get that into advertising this week, and I think the clerk was sick.
Yes.
So we didn't quite get that done, but we're going to get that out both for officers, full-time and part-time, and then someone for a chief's position. And we do have people already that have applied, and we appreciate that. And you're talking to an officer tomorrow or next week or something like that?
Next week I have an interview.
Okay, good. And we appreciate what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott.
Another thing, there has been questions about safety and things. And, you and I have talked, and you've assured us that, the shifts are being covered one way or the other, and that community is safe. Maybe you want to express that to the folks here so that they understand.
If someone dials 911, a police officer will come. It may not be an officer in blue, it may be an officer in brown. We have an agreement with the Sheriff's Department, they're going to help back us up. This is a safe place to live, and we're going to continue to make it a safe place to live.
Appreciate that, because I don't want anyone, criminal or otherwise, to think they can come in here and cause trouble. And I know you won't let that happen, so thank you very much. Okay, President's report, nothing at this time. So we'll move on to the Public Works here.
Good evening and Happy New Year. A couple things. I worked with your father here for I was here longer than he is, and I miss working with him. He used to refer to us as brothers from different mothers. We did knock heads several times, but at the end of the day, we did what was best for the community here. He helped out quite a bit with our rumble, and I would chide him on a few things, but that's the way 2 guys go ahead, So for the officers that were here, that resigned, thank you very much for your time and your service. It's greatly appreciated. I think this community as a whole needs to see who you're sitting next to. You're sitting next to your neighbors. These are all communities, it's a small community, 1,350 people. Everybody needs to get along. This has been very traumatic on everybody. For the staff that works here, it's been traumatic also. And for you people, this is not a boxing ring. I thank all of you for what you do. We have some tight times with finances. We all know that. We try to move on from there. So I'm going to correct some people on some information that was disseminated earlier. Police department budget is $449,779. Fire department is $147,231. DPW is $286,578, not $400,000. If I had $400,000 count, I'd be doing cartwheels. So that's something that I wanted to bring up. There was a posting on Facebook about not having Christmas decorations on Park Street here today. In 2013, we had major road construction here. 164 is widened. A lot of posts put up, power posts. Decorations were not put up. And the reason the decorations weren't put up is we have to have electric supply by then. So there were 9 poles that needed to have what we call a drop-down box, just on one side. The cost for that is $2,900 per pole. So you're talking $26,000. $26,000 is what it costs. There's also a seasonal fee, which is $45 per pole, whether we use it or not. Village board at that time was advised of it, and village president at that time, I believe in 2013 or 14, we auctioned the stuff off. And it should be knowing that the stuff that we did have for Christmas decorations was in rather rough shape. Let's get to a couple things here. I know it's been a long night already. We installed some new glass in the skid loader. We would have been knocked out. We assisted with a really large funeral. We ended up putting plywood down on some of the unfrozen ground so we could get the hearse into the cemetery. I deal with about 17 different funeral homes. Everybody enjoys what we do. If you've ever gone by there too, now we block the, you just know the sky, we were a big thing like Mike calling you for traffic, but we should block both entrance and exit off so the family gets in. And once they're in there, we'll do our own traffic control, but the problem is the traffic that they're flying at 55 miles an hour. It's a really traumatic day for everybody else, and we don't need to have another accident. But I call, and I appreciate some help. And thank you for stepping up to the plate and taking the sign over there. We'll talk earlier this week, and if there's anything we can do for you, please reach out and contact me. We have a drainage issue over on Edgewood Avenue by the post office. Working with the engineer on that, Digger's Hotline was out there to take care and look at the area market for us, and we believe that they missed a fiber optic line in the ground. So he's asked Digger's Hotline for the actual plans for that. If they don't know, if you strike a fiber optic line, repair starts at $100,000. So we want to do our due diligence to make sure that doesn't happen. Replace a thermostat in the fire department. We were out 2 times salting. We were out on November 26th and December 30th. Are there any questions?
Well, thank you for what you do here.
All right. I did want to mention one thing. I was doing some of my certificates through the state of Wisconsin, emergency management, take some other classes and stuff. I could not get one of my certificates to print out. But I was talking to a lady up there, and she said, "Oh, you're from Big Bend." I said, "Yes." She says, "I just sent out a letter to a 20 Howdy show." And I just want to let you guys in on this. I was surprised about this, but Tony is the manager in emergency management and hazmat person for Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Railway. He's very well known throughout the state. I've gone to different seminars on emergency management, and Tony's known all of them. I'm glad that he's here. He's our emergency manager here. He has helped me get the generator and stuff, and so we actually have something to back up the village with. I can just tell you that they, at the state of Wisconsin Emergency Management Department of Military Affairs, had a glowing review of what he had done. I believe he taught Kate a class up there. And I know I'm just dropping this on you. You don't know this, but yeah. So I thought that was really neat. What he has been here, he's been very helpful. And I just think that when Tony does leave, it's going to be a loss. If we can keep him on as an emergency management person, I would greatly appreciate that. I know at a moment's notice he's gone anywhere. Wherever it is in the country he's got to go, he goes. And I'm just glad to live here. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you very much.
Agreed. Agreed. Yep.
Can I make one comment to Eric? Eric did salt that particular day. I didn't see the truck, but my wife seen it. So actually, it wasn't even Eric. I think you were deer hunting or something. But my wife did see the truck out that day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Professional services? Nothing at this time. Okay. Okay, we will move on to consideration and approval of minutes. Anyone want to make a motion?
Motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. I know Kelly sent this out earlier in the week, so hopefully some had a chance to review it. Yeah, there was a lot to read.
And 13 pages.
You did throw that.
Pretty intense, huh? Okay, thank you. These 2 minutes are done.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as sorted.
I'll second it.
Any other comments? Everybody had a chance to review it?
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's okay. We will move on to the approval of bills, discussion, consideration, and approval of bills in the amount of $151,929.97. I will make a motion to approve the bills in that amount.
Second.
Would I be able to see the bills?
Absolutely. You know, just ask the clerk for those, she'll be glad to show them to you at any time.
I appreciate it.
And we can provide the cover sheet for you.
That would be really nice.
Welcome, Dad.
Just so we can see what the breakdown
I
is.
can do that.
We'll be glad to do
It'd be
that.
much appreciated.
Most of it, though, is all pretty common bills that you're welcome to see.
Sure. Just nice to see
A lot
firsthand.
of it's repeat stuff, but there's some stuff that comes up that's kind of out of ordinary.
Yeah. No, I get that. Agree.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And it passed. Okay, the next one is discussion, consideration, and approval of payout for the amounts of Sergeant Aide and Chief Gaglione. The amounts are in your packet. I was not gonna bring that up, that's kind of a private thing. But I will make a motion to pay those out to these individuals.
I will second.
Any other discussion? You want to look through the packet? It's all right there. You can see what they are. They're, you know, basic sick leave and things like that, and vacation time. Any questions at all? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we will move past 6A because there is no action. And we will move to B, discussion and consideration approval of proposed holiday vacation issue of PPW employee if needed to carry over. That should be in your packet here too.
And we figured out what the allowed time was that carries over?
40 hours.
It's 40 hours. You know, unfortunately for him, you know, he gets caught up in having to come out and take care of the plowing and salting and all that, and funerals and all, just different things. So sometimes it gets very hard for him to take vacation.
Oh, sure.
Now, do you
use comp time. Use any kind of comp time or whatever also. So, what did we end up having for the total carryover now? 113.
81 hours, 81 hours.
We're down to 81 hours? Okay. And what we've done in the past is allowed Eric to carry over the 81 hours. And we're going to suggest, Eric, you're definitely going to have to try to get some of that taken. You know, and I know you will. I know you want your time off. But we have allowed it to go up to June 1st, you know, to get those hours taken. If he does not take it by that time, he loses that vacation time.
By June 1.
By June 1.
You're looking at an earlier date, but because of the issues with, you could be plowing until April. We don't know. So we kind of extended out to June, so.
Any questions about that? Any comments? You have the sheet in front of you. Otherwise, I'll make a motion to allow Eric to carry that over to June 1st.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion?
Is Eric the only employee that we have that has additional,
At this time, yeah, we did have Chief Gaglione who ran into the same situation. We always allowed him to carry it over also.
Which it is stated in the handbook that they can carry over a certain amount until June. May, it used to be May though.
Right.
and the extra time to June was allowed because of snow plowing and things like that,
Just
correct?
general things that you would have to do. You know, both of them, I mean, really.
Yeah,
both
no, I
of them come in.
just want to make sure I understood.
So, like I said, we always encourage them to please get that taken, you know, and I know they really want to. So, okay, any other questions, comments? Otherwise, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Okay, we'll move on to discussion, consideration, possible approval of the Kapoor contract. We had this on the agenda last month, and we tabled it so everybody would have the opportunity to review it. Any other questions from anybody? Did everybody get a chance to review it?
Is there a reason why we have contracts with Applied Technologies and Kapoor for engineering?
We use them for two different things. We don't use both of them for the same service.
Just wanted to clarify, because I do big old engineering firms. So.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they both can do it, but, and sometimes they have more experience in one area than the other. Naomi, any comments you'd like to make regarding this?
Yeah, Naomi Roque, with Kapoor, currently village engineer. I have with me staff engineer Bridget Berry over here. I mentioned her in our proposal for the contract extension. Bridget joined us not too long ago, but has experience in Illinois with municipal engineering. So she's also agreed to set to the village with the contract extension. I wanted to, we discussed a lot of the rates changes the last time was kind of the focal point, and we discussed, the contract came up in December, and our current contract ends at the end of December. I did talk with the principals at Kapoor. We are holding our rates through January. I emailed that out to President Goodman and the clerk. And a lot of how our contract works, or has worked in the past with the village, is that we do routine engineering services for majority, 75% is plant. So when an applicant comes in, I sit on the plant commission, attend the plant commission meetings, go to the site, do site inspections, review plans, construction plans for subdivisions, do follow-up, we have our staff go out and construction administration, construction management on site, follow up with developers agreements, that sort of thing. That's about 75% of our work. The other 25% has been grant applications to the village, any sorts of maybe violation follow-up, those sorts of things come for the other 25%. And majority of the time, if we were to do a big project for the village, it would be under a task order, in which case we would specify, similar that you will see coming up for the landfill project, we would specify a scope, and we would specify a separate fee that we would track as part of it. And that would be based on these rates that we're proposing. I just wanted to explain that. I didn't really do a good job last time. I haven't had a task order since I've been the front-facing employee with the Corps. We have not had a big engineering task order. We've had no road programs, those sorts of things. DTI has done some of that work, but Kapoor has not since 2020. So I just kind of wanted to give what I've been doing, what our
And a lot of these charges we have through, they're passed through the village to the,
Yep, the 75%.
to the developer. And the gals in the office are doing a good job of getting those passed through. I know that trustee Honisha had asked for that first year to be softened a little bit. Any consideration on that?
Yeah, we can look at softening the increase throughout the contract. Is that what you're looking at?
That would be nice.
Yeah. I would have, if you could put in writing what you're looking for, like a 3% instead of, maybe we do get to our, where we need to be by 26. Are you looking at a 3-year contract, a 5-year contract? Those sorts of things would be helpful in making an adjustment to the proposal.
Part of my concern, just so that I can kind of, if it's okay, Jeff.
Sure.
Part of my concern was the fact that we got your proposal pretty late into the year, and it was after the fact of us preparing our budget for next year, for this year now, for 24. And a lot of the rates jumped heavily. I know that it was to bring it up to modern standards, and really you're reflecting rates from most other engineering companies, but it was just shocked to see some of the rates jump the way they did. So what I had asked is for consideration to try to maybe adjust those up to the rates that you're looking for over the next couple of years, so that we don't have to take as much of a unexpected increase and have to adjust revenues to reflect that and have to take from other programs. So that's what I was after.
Would you look for a 3-year contract, 5-year, or do you want to see both?
I think we're looking at.
To spread it out?
No, we're looking at 2 years.
Yeah, it's a 3-year. It's a 3-year that's in the contract now.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I would entertain looking at a 3 or 5 year. I think that there would have to be some sort of a clause in there for that long sustained contract in case that we do have to sever relationships. But you know, if that would help on trying to spread that cost over that time period, it would certainly help as well.
Yes.
Although I'm not looking at having to try to do that through 5 years, just something so that we're not taking such a hit in year 1.
Yes, we can look at spreading that increase out over the next 2 or 3 years, but to get us where we need to be in 26. We'll look at that as well.
Do you have a suggestion of what percentage you would like to see there at all?
Well, I was kind of hoping that maybe they'd bring that back for this meeting. I'm going to make a motion to go ahead and table this again, just so that we can see what those rates would be. But I'm open for whatever
I have
that you
discussed
can
that
negotiate.
possibility, and we will propose something.
Okay.
With the holidays, it was hard to get on the same page.
Understandable.
So, yeah.
You're agreeable through January as far as the...
We're going to keep
tax rates?
same rates through the end of January.
Okay.
And we could maybe consider another month if this is, I didn't know if you were considering going out for proposals, looking at other firms, doing the whole,
I'm just looking at
request
the
for
time frame
clarification.
for deadline, but...
Well, we may have to, we would have to take it, basically table this till February meeting now. But, yeah, I think we'd like you to come back with a different proposal.
Okay.
We like the work you do, but we don't want to get forced into going out for bidding more.
Okay, yeah, I will pursue that conversation or get some detailed numbers for you.
So I'll second your motion. table that, Tony. Any other discussion from anybody?
But you need a letter from us stating that you want to look into the revision of a 3 and a 5 year, right?
I think I can take the discussion here and take it back.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, communicate it to the finance committee, and then we'll bring it back to the board.
Finance committee. Who would be that? Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
So, yeah. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we'll, okay, the police contract, we talked about this, and I know last meeting, most of you have not had a chance to see it at that point, so, the police contract pretty much stays the same, but it does stay the same except for the 6% increase in here. That's what we have agreed to in the finance committee and the police unit. So hopefully you folks have had a chance to look it over. Any comments to it that you have? I know at one point the attorney had mentioned something about the July notification as far as to renegotiate at the end of the term. The union has been very good about doing the notifications. So I guess we felt there really wasn't too much of a problem there. Unless, you know, if you want to change it, we can change it.
No, I just have seen that type of contract language, and it's a disaster for those who are not attentive. Automatic renewal provision. Apparently both the village and the department representatives have been giving notices timely. So my only word is sometimes people forget about it.
And you know, we could strike that. You know, that it doesn't automatically renew. I don't really have a problem with it, but it's up to you folks.
Well, you said the union's been pretty good about notifying us in June about negotiations. I don't think it's been an issue in the past. I don't know how it'll be an issue in the future.
I don't think so either. It is a one-year contract. I wouldn't mind seeing it a little longer than that, but maybe next year we can make it a little bit longer. But it'll be a contract for 1 year at this time at that new rate. Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the union, police union contract as it is.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then we move to the fire contract. And of course, this is the wages of the department and fees, yes.
Which this was all approved
Yes.
prior.
Actually,
During the budget.
the only thing we're really looking for is the rate approval. And you'll see that in there, you know, the calls, the transportation.
Fee schedule.
Yeah, fee schedule.
So that was discussed during public safety, that they were gonna be increasing them as well.
Right. And you guys approved that too?
You should come back for the planning commission meetings, the way it works.
Yeah, they were trying to make it more comparable to the surrounding areas.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve that. Any other conversation on that? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Okay, rewind. move on to the Haas animal contract.
Skip the building inspection.
I guess they had that. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Everyone's had an opportunity to read this over. I guess we tabled it last time.
I think it was so that Attorney Schuler could review it, if I remember correctly.
I can approve it as the form. From the legal perspective, it was acceptable. The one thing I do rely on is decision makers to look at the business part of it, it's not our role, that's your role. It's acceptable form.
Very much appreciate that.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve it. Any discussion on that? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we'll move on to the Haas contract. But of course, we already taken care of 7A. Now we'll go to 7B. Discussion, consideration, possible approval of the 2024 Haas contract. I don't know if you had a chance to read this or you just got it. Did they just get this, or you sent it out before anyway?
I sent it out with the packet, yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty much standard for.
Yeah, standard. I don't think we really have a choice on it.
Is this similar to what we paid last year? Because I don't remember getting this last year.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
It's pretty cut and
Pretty much. Don't really have a lot of choice.
How many times do we use them during the year?
I don't, you know how many times we use them?
Ever?
Contract. I don't know.
I know they were used a couple of years ago when someone dumped some kittens up on the road and I got them before they got them. When Karen was with her. And I came in and she's like, oh, just take them home. I'm like, yeah, no, they never was.
So,
No, it's a choice.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve that. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to discussion, consideration, possible approval of Washoe County Center for Growth contract, pretty much the same as it has been previously. Any comments on that? Have you had a chance to look at it? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Okay, discussion and possible approval of extending the sunset clause on American states. I think we talked about that before. We did take it over pretty good in planning. It's a good development. It's up on National Avenue by the old driving range up there. They want to take and build a $7 to $8 million facility up there. What has put this behind is Mr. Brickman passed away during that time period, and so they had to get that all squared away. His son is taking more of the reins, and they now have their grading plan approved, so they will be closing on the property fairly soon. I did approve it as the village president to extend it through January 31st. We can continue to extend it to that, or we can say that we will extend it to 14 days after their closing. and then they have to get everything done.
Do you know when their closing date is?
I think it's coming up pretty quick. He thought it would be done mid-month.
He was hoping to have it done by the end of the month, but he said just in case.
I would say at least to the end of January, this would be something we can't miss out on.
Right, absolutely. Well, if we extend it to,
And then
say, 14 days past closing, then, you know, if it's something.
Brings us to the end of the month if it's in the middle of the month.
Yeah.
Well, he said he wanted to have it closed by the end of the month, but if it's
Yeah.
not closed by the end of the month, that puts us in.
Here, yes, the 14th, right, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, go
When is the next board meeting?
January, February 1st, it looks like.
Correct.
First, okay. Well, what if we, that's a Thursday night. What if we extend it to February 9th, because that gives us another board meeting in between years to consider.
Right.
So if there's support for it, let's extend it to February 9th. That gives us an objective date versus a floating date based on a closing that we don't know when for sure it's going to occur. It's already been extended once.
If there are issues,
And
we can
then,
address
then
it.
the other requirement, I'm sorry.
And if there are other issues, we can address it at February board meeting.
Yes, in the meantime, but I also would want to make it subject to the developer providing us with a draft agreement that extends it in writing. It's not just, but it's subject to your approval of extending it, conditioned on an agreement that's acceptable to the village attorney. The planner asked the question as to whether or not there's the authority of the board with, as a party to a contract, to extend a contract with a time frame for performance is already passed. And the answer to that is yes. If the parties mutually agree, you can extend the contract even though it's passed, the performance date is passed.
Okay, thank you.
It was originally to December 31st, correct?
Thank you, Chad.
Yes.
December 31st.
Yeah, oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
December 31st.
So basically, because now we're at January 4th, we're past that date, so that's good to know. Thank you.
You have the legal authority to extend it as long as the parties mutually agree.
And with the mishap there, unfortunate passing, it just couldn't get done, you know.
I'd much rather set the date for like February 9th, for instance, than to do it for closing plus 14 days, because that just leaves it unattended by us. And then we start getting into situations like we have with like Harvest View, where it just gets extended indefinitely and there's no sunset date on things
Okay,
like that.
that sounds good. Do you want to make that motion then, Tony?
I'll make a motion to extend to February 9th the sunset clause for American State Equipment.
I'll second.
Are you going to have that in there where, as the attorney stated, that the developer would have to get the contract, the developer's agreement to the board by that time?
There would be an agreement to extend the contract. There's going to be a little more to that, though, but it would be a written memorialization of the action that I think you're about to take.
Do you want to add that to it? In the motion?
So be it.
Tracy, on this? Okay, thank you. Any other comments on this? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes.
Jeff, is that proposed for construction this spring, or is this just a purchase?
They're hoping to get going this year, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot to do there, but at least they're gonna get the land purchased, all the agreements made there, they have been made. It's just they have to get the closing done on it, you know.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing is Applied Technologies contract. We just got this, and I agree with you again, Tony, we need to get these contracts much earlier than this. So I don't think anybody's had a chance to look at this.
I make the motion to table it until the February meeting.
Any other discussion?
I'll just,
Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I did have a chance to look at it. And like the others, we approve it as perform in a legal sense. I did, at the standard, the general provisions, which you'll notice on the last page of which you were provided, the number 12, section 12, under termination, I understand the first lengthy sentence that runs through the fourth, halfway through the fourth line.
But is there, it says then meets all relationships and obligations created by the agreement, et cetera. To me, that creates an ambiguity relative to the first part. So I would ultimately suggest that that sentence be eliminated. Just a heads up, when it's the same thing I did, just to see if the first sentence is more difficult to understand. But I don't think we're going to object to eliminating potential ambiguity. So just a heads up.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
I was going to say is that as you review this, the standard rate schedule is in line with other firms performing the same type of work. It's about mid-stream.
Okay, so I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Kelly, do you have any correspondence for us? Okay. So we will move on to any public comments. Anyone? Is there anybody in the back yet? Would you ask me to make any comments? Thank you, Eric. You're not.
We don't have any public comments.
I think there's public comments if you want. Nobody? Okay, no public comments?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you for your comments.
These are the public hearing.
Show me one there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. Just get
Double check.
Yeah, I think, yes, because I think Laura.
I mean, there are two rules
I'll check Trace, the vision. I thought it would have
I have one for the 25th at 6:45 p.m.
I knew it was 6:45. Bridget Berry, he's got over. I understand you
Share some. It's hard to yeah.
I mean,
That's like later this year,
Excuse me, I'm gonna get to this crazy thing up here. Unless you wanna reach